Yeah, very good evening, students. Today, as a part of the economics second year one, today I'm going to teach about economic growth and economic development, which is one topic what I'm taking. I'm taking very short this one, only one topic of that lesson. The rest of what are the topics are there will be covered in the next part. So this what are the small topic you can understand well, and if any doubts are there later on, whereas you can raise that one. So economic growth and economic development. This is the first chapter what you have. So after deleting of some by the board of intermediate, some topics has been taken. Today I am going to explain about the concept of economic growth and as well as economic development. Let us see about the economic growth. Economic growth can be defined as an increase in the capacity of an economy to produce goods and services compared from one period of time to another period. Means here, economic growth means nothing but the growth in generally if we take it is a production capacity is increasing. Whatever the goods and services that are there, increasing of that one when compared to the uh, previous period. Let us take that one. Last year, about some 100 quintals it is produced within the country, or else you take it as 100 crores of the what are the production has taken place. This year, if it is a 120 crores, then the growth is about 20 crores, which is around some 20%. So this is a time to time, means we can say that when it is a whatever the calculations are there, every year it will be taken place. Economic growth can be measured in nominal terms, which it is include inflation, or real terms, which are adjusted for inflation. Means here nothing but that one can will be measured in the terms of the uh, income. Nothing but here it is inflation means nothing but whereas a rising of the prices. So nothing but here it is what are the income that one it is there. Based on this one, the economic growth will be measured. And economic growth in a country is measured by GDP. As already I said, it is income. Income in 1 year. GDP means what are the gross domestic product, which it is the total amount of final goods and services produced in 1 year within a country. Here it is a 1 year period. Means what are the total goods and services. Here it is given as a final goods. Final good is very important. That one only will be taken. As in the previous, means in the 10th class, it is given how it will be doubled if we take raw material also. So that is what final good will be taken. And the services. Here the services means various employees are there, doctors are there, lawyers are there, their salaries and everything will be taken into consideration. And particularly 1 year period. Whatever the here it is in India, if we take from April of certain year to next year March, this is the financial year what it is called. So this whatever the 1 year period it is there, whatever the total production it is there, that one will be counted. So here like this one, whatever the GDP will be calculated. So economic growth is measured by the GDP of that year. Now let us see about the economic development. If we see economic growth and economic development, both it looks like the same, but actually these two are different. Generally, whatever the economic development, economic growth, these two, when we think of meaning, mostly it is the same. But here really there is a lot of change it is there in this one. Economic development is a policy intervention with aims of development of human capital. Human capital, manav vanarulu, means here it is a working people has to be increased. Means what are the people participation has to be more in the economy. The next it is a literacy ratio. What are the literacy rate has to be, when that is good, we can say it as a the economic development is there in the country. Means literacy is directly related to the what are the incomes it is. So that is what will take this one also into consideration. The next, infrastructure, means within the country whatever the facilities are there. Here infrastructure means we can take like development of the roadways, you take whatever the electricity, okay, transportation, automobile, what are the services, this one it is increasing. So that is also it is a part of this economic development. The next, health and general welfare. So when these means health of, as we know that health is wealth, so that one it is related to this one. Means if everything is good, what are the human what are the health and hygiene, then naturally the production of items also will be more. Economic development is what are the where economic growth is a phenomenon of market productivity and rise in GDP. As already we have studied, economic growth it is related to the GDP only. Economic development, if we see quantitative and qualitative changes. Here economic growth will see about only the quantity, but here economic development will see about the quantitative and as well as qualitative changes. It is means here only the growth is not sufficient for the development. Along with the growth, quality also has to be there. అంటే ఇక్కడ జనరల్గా తీసుకుంటే సపోజ్ ఒక ఇద్దరు స్టూడెంట్స్ 6th క్లాస్ వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు అనుకుందాం. 10th వచ్చేసరికి ఇద్దరు పెరుగుతారు, దట్ ఈస్ అ గ్రోత్. కానీ పెరగడం లోపల ఇద్దరికి కొన్ని తేడాలు ఉంటాయి. ఒకడేమో అనారోగ్యంగా ఉండొచ్చు, బాగా యాక్టివ్గా ఉండకపోవచ్చు, ఇంకొకడు బాగా యాక్టివ్గా ఉండొచ్చు. ఇది క్వాలిటేటివ్. అంటే ద గ్రోత్, ఎకనామీ డబ్బులు పెరగవచ్చు, బట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద క్వాలిటీ, ఇఫ్ దట్ వన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఇంక్రీజింగ్, then we cannot call it as a economic development. It is promoting the standard of living and the economic health. Economic development though it is a standard of living, it is automatically that one will develop. And as well as human development index is one of the most accurate method measuring this one. Human development index, as we have studied in the previous years, it will be taken literacy rate and as well as whatever the life expectancy, infant mortality rate, this all it will be taken into this one. And if everything is good, fine, then economic development is there. Economic development is a modernization and industrialization. These two will play an important role for the economic development of a nation. Modernization has to be. Modernization means where it is a development in the, you take it as a industries, modern technology using computerization, these all the things. And even industrialization also. But industrialization with sustainable development means whatever the resources we are using, that one has to be perfect. So if these things are there, then the economic development will be automatically, that one will be there. When we see about the economic development, there the changes we can see. One is occupational structure, means when the development is taking place, at that time what will happen, the occupational means we have the three sectors: agriculture sector, industrial sector, and as well as service sector. So most of the people will shift from the agriculture sector to the industrial and service sector. Why? Because of already more burden is there on the agriculture sector. So that is what the occupational structure will change. Output structure means what are the production will increase, and even the quality productive. Here two things are there: qualitative and as well as quantitative. క్వాలిటీ పెరుగుతుంది యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ క్వాంటిటీ. అంటే గత సంవత్సరం ఎంత ప్రొడక్షన్ చేసినామో దానికంటే ఈసారి కొద్దిగా ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. క్వాలిటీలో కూడా ద ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్ మీన్స్ మెషిన్స్ విల్ బి ఇంప్రూవ్డ్ ఇన్ దిస్ వన్. స్ట్రక్చర్ ఆఫ్ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ ప్రొడక్షన్ యాజ్ జస్ట్ నౌ ఐ సెడ్ మెకనైజ్డ్. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ న్యూ టైప్ ఆఫ్ మెషినరీ విల్ బి అవైలబుల్. అంటే ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ ఆర్ డెవలపింగ్, కంప్యూటర్స్ ఆర్ డెవలపింగ్. సో న్యూ టైప్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద మిషనరీ వీ కెన్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్. అంటే గతంలో ఒక 5గురు చేసేది ఇప్పుడు ఒక్కడే చేయొచ్చు ఆ మిషన్ పైన. సో దట్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ద థింగ్ వీ కెన్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ ఇన్ దిస్ వన్. స్ట్రక్చర్ ఆఫ్ ఫారిన్ ట్రేడ్. Foreign trade is nothing but exports and imports. Exports and imports, this combined, we call it as the foreign trade. So generally economic development, when it is there, exports will be more and the imports will be very less. Whatever the only the need, that one we will import. Structure of technology. Computerized technology will be there. New type of whatever the technology is there, that one will be adopted. So now we can see so many changes are there in the technology. If you see the vehicles, if you take about some 30-40 years back, whatever the car, that one it is there. Now present car, if you see, there is a lot of change. At least even 5 years back one also, when you compare, yes, new one is very good one it is. Social and institutional changes means here in the society, lot of changes will be there. When the economic development is there, whatever the between haves and have nots will gap will not be there. అంటే రిచ్ పూర్ అనేది తగ్గిపోతూ ఉంటుంది. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ఎవ్రీవన్ విల్ బి డెవలప్డ్. Here when we compare economic growth and economic development, as already we have discussed, economic growth refers to an increase in a country's real output of goods and service. Means in 1 year how much production has taken place, that one will be shown by the economic growth. If it is increased, then the growth will be there. Suppose if it is not there, then the whatever the economic growth will not be there. Economic development refers not only economic growth but also about progressive change in the socio-economic structure of a country. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఎకనామిక్ గ్రోత్ లో మనం చూసుకునేది ఒకటే, జీడిపి పెరిగిందా లేదా అని చెప్పేసి. బట్ ఇన్ ద ఎకనామిక్ డెవలప్మెంట్, ప్రోగ్రెసివ్ చేంజెస్ ఇన్ ద socio-economic structure. అంటే కంట్రీలో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద కండిషన్ ఆఫ్ ద కామన్ పీపుల్ ఇన్ ద సొసైటీ, దేర్ whatever the economic structure, whether it is a change. Means when the economic development is there, naturally socio-economic structure will be changed. Economic growth is a single dimensional phenomenon. అంటే ఇక్కడ నిలువుగా వెరుక్కుంటూ పోతుంది, బ్రాంచెస్ ఉండవు దీనికి. But here economic development is a multi-dimensional. Okay, it will be having so many branches. Here only in the economic growth, only one thing, that is a GDP will be taken. But when it is a economic development, so many other things, literacy, you take it as that one will be taken, and as well as so many other things are there in this one. Economic growth is a single dimensional phenomenon, and economic growth explains primarily about quantitative change in the economy. As already we have discussed, quantity మాత్రమే తెలియజేస్తుంది economic growth, but economic development is a multi-dimensional one, whereas it will explain quantitative as well as qualitative changes in the economy. Economic growth occurs either through an active role of government or not. Faster economic growth occurs when more technological progress occurs. Economic growth, it can be either through an active role of government or may not be. But here, whatever for the development in the initial stage, there is a need of intervention of the government. Later on, yes, automatically the development will start. Hence, active role is important for the development. Government has to be active. Whereas in the case of growth, not much needed it is. Faster economic growth occurs when more technological process is there. And here it is a higher level of economic development entails improvement in the quality of life of the people. Qualitative development has to be there. Quality peragali, that is, we call it as a economic development it is. Economic growth is considered as a short-term process, whereas we can measure income changes on an yearly basis. Last year how much it is there, and this much how much it is there. So it's a time span, maybe it is only 1 year. In the world wherever you go, 1 year it will be taken into consideration. అంటే లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ ఎంత గ్రోత్ ఉండేది, ఈ ఇయర్ ఎంత ఉంది, ఇది మాత్రమే చూడడం జరుగుతుంది. అండ్ the scope of economic development is wide and comprehensive than economic growth. Ikkada economic growth narrow, but here it is the economic development is quite a broad one. It's linked not only with an increase in the income, but also with the well-being of the economy. It means nothing but a country. Economic growth is considered as a short. It is repeated. Economic growth is more relevant to the concept in the case of developed countries, and there may or may not be any social change in case of economic growth. It is only concerned with the change in the income level without giving due consideration to social change. And economic growth law, only income one will be taken. The other things will not be considered here in this one. But whereas in the economic development, it is related to the mostly the developing countries. Social changes are the main in this one. In case of economic development, these social changes are must. అంటే సమాజం మారాలి, సమాజం అభివృద్ధి చెందాలి, that is the main one. Then only we can say that economy is developing. It refers to be the what are the better jobs available, and the food, better food, education, these all the things are there in this one. So like this one, standard of living also will be taken into consideration, and environmental issues will be taken into consideration. So when these all the things are there, economic development. But economic growth, when it is there, then only the economic development is possible. Economic growth has to be there. Thank you very much, children, for watching this one. And in this one, two type of the questions, whereas we can see in the examination. One is a very short one. Just explain what is nation. What is economic growth? What is economic development? This in the very short they can ask. In the short also, whereas we can expect this one. What is meant by the economic development, or what is meant by the economic growth it is. In the essay type of answer, we can expect the question like differentiate economic growth and economic development. In the textbook, you have a table. Table is given regarding this one. So you go through that one and learn that one, because of it is a very important one. Thank you, children.